Across the Fence, a new way to support a Vermont tradition. We're going to learn about the tax checkoff for Green Up. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. Vermont's annual Green Up Day is a spring tradition. It's held the first Saturday in May. But this year there's a reason to focus on Green Up while the temperatures are freezing and the snow is swirling. As you file your state income taxes, there is now a way to support Green Up. To find out more, I'm joined by the president of Green Up Vermont, Melinda View. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about this new option for folks to support Green Up.
Well, thanks to the tax form, now people can share a little of their green to help keep Vermont clean. What it means is that now people can support Green Up Day by making their charitable donation of $1, $2, or more on line 29 of the Vermont income tax form. And these donations are tax deductible.
Why is this so important?
It's very important because, simply, most people think that Green Up Day is organized by a state agency and therefore doesn't need any money. Even though in 1970 our Governor Dean Davis launched the first Green Up Day, now continuing it is the responsibility of Green Up Vermont. So Green Up Vermont is a charitable, nonprofit, 501c3 organization, and we depend heavily on private donations from both individuals and businesses.
And so now you're raising awareness of the new tax checkoff, and Vermonters are seeing informational notices from Green Up Vermont. As Melinda mentioned, Green Up is not a state agency, so your donation goes directly to Green Up Vermont and it's tax deductible. For more information, you can check on the Green Up website or you can call Green Up Vermont. That number is 802-229-4586. That's 802-229-4586. And Green Up will turn 45 this May, and over that time, support has come from thousands and thousands of individual Vermonters as well as Vermont businesses. Joining us now is longtime Green Up participant who supported Green Up as an individual and a business person. I want to welcome Yvonne Garand. And you're also Vice President of Business Development for the Vermont State Employees Credit Union. Why support Green Up?
Yeah, hi Judy. Well, first of all, at the corporate level for VSECU, we're always looking for opportunities to align ourselves with other mission-driven organizations like Green Up Vermont. Their values and our values as a statewide financial cooperative are just perfectly in alignment. So that's why VSECU supports Green Up Vermont.
Now, you're a native Vermonter, and you have a history of being involved with Green Up Day. Why is this so important to you personally?
Yeah. So, just a quick story. I can remember being 7, 8, maybe 9 years old, and my father coming into my bedroom on a Saturday morning, dragging me out of bed, telling me that we were going to green up, and I didn't know what that meant. And he had a big, ugly garbage bag with him. And in hindsight now, when I look back at that experience, it was just a wonderful opportunity to really bond with my father. And as I was picking up debris with disgust and putting it in the trash bags, my father used that as a teachable moment to teach to me the importance of being a good steward of our environment.
And that's something that you've also passed on to your children,
Yes, I
understand,
have.
as well?
Yes, I have. He passed that tradition on to me as a parent. I, in turn, dragged my children out of bed when they were young. They responded the same way, but I'm confident that they'll share that legacy with their families.
Now, Melinda, talk a little bit about the work that went into securing a tax checkoff for Green Up. It's not something that can be easily done.
It's not. It requires an act of legislation. And so last year, I went to the legislature and requested that Green Up be included on the income tax form. And with strong support from the legislature, fortunately, they enacted that Green Up will now be included. In 30 years, we're the fourth opportunity on that tax checkoff. The first one was in 1986 when non-game wildlife was offered as an option to support research and study of wildlife. Then the next one was 10 years later in 1996 when the Children's Trust Fund was put on. And then in 2010, the Veterans Fund was put on. And now here we are. We're now on that income tax form. And the money raised includes from last year for the non-game wildlife, it was $97,000. For Children's Trust, it was just over $71,000. And for Veterans Fund, it was over $60,000. we don't expect to have those top dollars, but we're really looking for support from individuals. This is an opportunity for individuals unlike any they've had before. Because we're such a small organization, we don't have the capability that large nonprofit companies do to launch fundraising campaigns for individuals.
And what about people who use a professional tax preparer?
Tell your tax preparer you want to give to GreenUp. We have messaged to tax preparers, but there are a lot of them, and they serve a lot of people. And I've heard from some people that they don't know about this option.
Are there other ways that people can support GreenUp Day?
Absolutely. You can go and make a donation directly online at our GreenUp website, www.greenupvermont.org, or you can send a donation directly to GreenUp Vermont at P.O. Box 1191, Montpelier, 05601, or you can call us at 802-229-4586.
I want to give you the final moment, Yvonne. Tell folks why you think they should be involved with GreenUp Day.
I'm proud to be a Vermonter, and I love my home. And I applaud GreenUp Vermont for just rallying individuals and communities to come together. And it's just so powerful when people work together for a common goal. And if we want to continue to boast about Vermont being our beautiful natural environment, it's important for people to participate, to get out there and green up and clean up. But obviously the organization does rely on financial resources, because even though it's the first Saturday in May where people are actively participating, it's a year-long preparation event for GreenUp Vermont to create that awareness, to educate people, to communicate with town and city coordinators. It just makes me bubble with pride knowing that I am part of the reason why Vermont is such a beautiful place to live.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you both so much for joining us today. Our next segment explores part of Vermont's local food scene. We usually don't think of chocolate as fresh local food, but across the fence's Keith Silva learned that chocolate can go from farm to plate in Vermont.
You can't go wrong with chocolate, so.
As the buttercream bubbles and the truffle centers get rolled in chocolate, it's easy to become a kid in a candy store on a visit to Laughing Moon Chocolates in Stowe.
I like to make a product that I feel good about. If I didn't feel good about my product, I don't think I could do what I do.
Lee Williams believes her chocolate should have one simple goal: make people happy.
Somebody can come into the shop and spend $5 and make somebody's day. And there's not many places where you can go and spend, you know, under $10 for a gift and have it really brighten someone else's day.
When it comes to a box of chocolates or a store-bought candy bar, one word that doesn't usually come to mind is fresh. Williams and her staff are attempting to change that expectation.
We really pride ourselves on our product being probably the freshest that you can get anywhere, and I think that's the difference between our product and any other product that you can buy. The idea of the chocolates as a fresh product, I do think is something relatively new, but it's surprising to me that people don't consider the fact that when they do buy a caramel or a truffle or a buttercream that's sitting in a box, they don't really consider how long it's been sitting there and what's in it. I mean, it has to have milk and dairy of some sort, so I wouldn't want to make that product.
The chocolate that Williams uses comes from a vendor in Massachusetts. And that's about the farthest distance that almost any of the ingredients in a Laughing Moon chocolate have to travel.
We have an opportunity to use ingredients that we source from, you know, a variety of places. Obviously chocolate, like coffee or many other things that we consume daily, is not a local agricultural product. But when you think about like a truffle or a buttercream or a caramel, the ratio of chocolate to center, there's a lot more center than there is chocolate.
Centering on this idea gives Williams a niche that fits in well with Vermont farmers and local food producers.
We decided that we wanted to make that center with as many local ingredients as we possibly could. And so we started asking ourselves about every single product. Can we make it ourselves? And if not, can we source it locally? And at that time, this was about 4 years ago now, we stopped using things like Oreo cookies because we decided that we'd rather have the cookies that we sell baked by a local baker. So we've been having Sweet Crunch Bake Shop in Hyde Park bake chocolate, vanilla, and ginger shortbread cookies for us that we dip in chocolate.
I have had a sweet tooth my entire life, so I mean, I'm all about chocolate. I always have been.
Brittany Hickman is in charge of making all the sweets and treats at Laughing Moon Chocolates.
Everything's done by hand, so each piece is going to look different, and you can tell it wasn't machine made because everything has a little bit of a different shape to it. So I think our first priority is the flavor and the taste of the product we're putting out. We do like it to look nice, but each piece is unique, and we're happy to have that.
Hickman's time making truffles and other handmade chocolate dip delicacies gives her perspective about where the food she makes comes from.
When you think of it just as the chocolate, but when you're thinking about everything else that goes into it, you know, your centers and things like that, that's when I think you can start to understand how chocolate is local.
Along with using Vermont-produced products like cookies, granola, and peanut butter, Williams tries to find ways to give all her products a local flavor.
We use Vermont honey to candy fruit often. We have a lot of products that we make using more agricultural products, like we use Zach Woods herbs to steep into the cream for our peppermint truffles and our basil and black pepper truffles.
This is peppermint that I'm bagging for Laughing Moon Chocolates.
Jeff Carpenter owns Zach Woods Herb Farm in Hyde Park. The farm is the largest operation of its kind in Vermont. Carpenter specializes in growing certified organic, medicinal, and botanic herbs.
It's great to know that our herbs are going into chocolate. It's one of those things I never really thought that it's a product that I never thought our herbs would end up in, but it's really exciting.
Carpenter appreciates having Williams as a customer, but more so as a friend and as a member of his community.
Lee has a choice. She could either, buy these products, peppermint and basil, from a large, wholesaler in the Midwest or something, but she's really focused on high quality, and she saw a good opportunity to buy local certified organic products that would really improve the quality of her products. So she started buying herbs from us. We really value the relationship we have with Lee and Laughing Moon because it's such a local relationship. We're keeping the money right in our community here, right in Lamoille County. It's a very cooperative relationship, and it's been enjoyable.
I love working in a collaboration with other business owners, and I've seen a lot of people do that successfully and have a really great fun time doing it, and that's sort of where we've taken it.
Laughing Moon Chocolates is a taste of Vermont, a business where fresh and local really mean fresh and local. In Stowe, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
Laughing Moon Chocolates is located on Main Street in Stowe. It offers free chocolate dipping demonstrations and sampling each day at 2. Well, throughout 2015, Across the Fence is celebrating its 60th anniversary. So we're closing out today's program with some reflections from one of our frequent guests. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.
Congratulations to Across the Fence for an historic and long run on television. I feel fortunate to have been part of this great program for over 30 years. A sincere thanks to former producer Lynn Jarvis and current producer Will Michael for all their advice and the opportunities they've provided me to share with you and the many viewers all the great horticulture education and gardening places and people. Thanks also to current videographer Keith Silva and the many others I've worked with over the years who have produced such high-quality programs. To UVM Extension for their continuing support, and finally to you and the many viewers who have watched our gardening programs. I hope you continue to find them of interest in the coming years. For UVM Extension, I'm Leonard Perry.